Hello. Thank you. Thank you, Stanley. Yeah, there's no sound. That just makes sense. Sometimes whenever I'm watching videos, especially whenever people are cooking and something happens and it just spills on the floor, it makes me upset. I hate wasted food. And whenever they laugh, I'm like, how are you laughing at that? It's so good to laugh. It's so good to just to not be angry. We're going into Thanksgiving and Christmas. There's a lot of people out there that don't have anything. One of the problems that I have with, people like Andrew and Andrew from well, it doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. There's a lot of people out there that are we went from don't blame the victim, like, "Hey, you're a victim." And then because of the whole "Pound Me Too" movement and whatnot, people are now saying, "Hey, being a victim, like, fuck you for being a victim." Sorry for saying the F word on a Sunday morning. But sometimes people are victims of stuff. Like the whole Owen thing. One of the reasons why I'm so hyper fixated on Owen is because during the pandemic, I was living my own life, man. I was taking care of my family, just like a lot of people. And Owen said, "No, I'm going to take advantage of this situation." All right, so this is Owen Benjamin, 1757. Hear me out. Owen Benjamin offers advice to the annoying behavior of Dr. Heckle and Mr. Bride. I've never heard this one. I was going to go back to 1666 because that's such a good stream of showing who and what Owen Benjamin is. It literally is. It is. So, I mean, I literally don't, but I do. Glutton for punishment, I guess. Oh, darn. How are you doing, man? It is so good to see you. Thank you. Honestly, thank you and your wife for hopping on last night. That was such a good conversation. And yeah, I mean, people are pissed, I guess. I don't know. I still don't understand the situation fully. I've done this YouTube thing for probably, what are we, 2024, 2025? Less than a decade, because I definitely was not on YouTube 10 years ago. 2015? No. 2016, yeah. So about 8 years. So I'm still trying to figure this out. It was my mom. Yeah, no. Yeah, it was your mom, and I'm sorry about that. Your mom sounds young, dude. I'm sorry, bro. Um, yeah, it was your mom. And I'm sorry I didn't give her an explanation of the bear thing. I was just so hyper fixated on my wife. She wanted to hop on. She literally was the reason why we did a live last night. UP, how are you doing, man? It is so good to see you. You're the reason why I'm gonna do a Knucks deep on. Oh my. Okay, so let's go ahead and go that way, right? Jeez Louise. Holy mother of turpentine. Let's go that way. Dude. Oh my. This I'm almost convinced. Okay, so what's the best way to do this? Because I'm looking at the y'all can't see it, but I guess it would be let's go to YouTube Studio. Yeah, that'll work. I do believe. Possibly. And then go to the I guess community. It used to be. Blake says, I'm mostly like O'Darn, even if we don't always agree. That makes me happy. Right. So where are we at? Uncle Gums, Beaver Slayer, Responder, Juniper, Sober in the Valley. Shout out to Sober in the Valley. You giving so much monetary support to Liz is so good because literally it sucks doing all of this. You pay for stuff and whatnot. And I'm not talking about myself. I do this because I want to. This literally is a hobby of mine. And yeah, sometimes it's an obnoxious hobby, but it's still a hobby. You know, like I wouldn't do this if I couldn't do this. Where are you at? Dude, one day ago, still. Let's go back to the chat. I like oh darn for the record. I appreciate you, Blake. Blake is a champ. Blake is you are rad. He is rad. That's for sure. Uranium, let's go. Blake S. However, I could live without hearing Jim Bob's voice. Again, no, I love Jim Bob. I really have. Jim Bob has a special place in my heart. He honestly does. It's and it might be because it's such a contrast to who and what Owen is. Owen talking shit about Jim Bob is one of the funniest things that I've ever seen a grown man do because he's literally holding a physical object that another man made while talking shit about that guy. That is so insane to me. A dude made something, physically made something and mailed it to Owen, and Owen is holding that physical object saying, "Oh, this dude is the guy that's worthy of talking shit to." That is crazy to me. Oh my, where is it at? Okay, so obviously I can't do that. That's taking way too long. I was like 16 the first time that I got on the radio. And I had so much anxiety about that. Because at 16, what are you doing? 15, 16, you cuss a lot because that's how you feel like a grown up. And so one of the first things the guy said was, "Hey man, you can't cuss." And I was like, "Well, what am I going to say then?" Oh my. All right. So, okay, get rid of that. We're coming up to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's what, the next week or so? Without beating around the bush, both my parents are dead, and this is they've been dead for at least a couple of years, and coming up to all right. For some reason, this year's it's hit me hard, man. Here we go. All right. So Knucks deep in the comment section. uh, hold on. Somebody, my brother, we live relatively close. One of my brothers, and he just he flew to Florida, and so normally I would ignore my phone, turn it off, whatever, while I'm doing live, but because he's in a different state, is this it? Yep, this is it. Here we go. Nux deep. Mind. I had to Google it. Minds is what it is. Minds, Minds, and then Tangle. Right. Being a grown man, given credence to your emotions, absolutely sucks. It does. Oh my. All right. He's good. Let's go back to the comment section. Stanley, I missed last night. I was actually just about to watch the replay when I saw TGR was going live now. I appreciate that, Stanley. And I greatly appreciate you keeping the rubber side down, sir. Stanley, hope everyone in the chat is having a great day. Blake, everyone is welcome to their opinions. My opinion of Jim Bob isn't meant to sway anyone else. I'll stop now. No. And Jim Bob, I almost guarantee you, I'm not going to speak for Jim Bob, but he strikes me as the type of fella that appreciates appreciates other people's opinions of him that most people probably wouldn't agree with. He- yeah, I'll leave it at that. Oh darn, Blake, speak your truth and never stop. Frazier, almost caught the start of Alive. Hope everyone is doing great. Frazier, it's so good to see you, man. Everybody's saying hi to each other. Stanley, this is your top 10 without my dad. Those first few years were rough. I had a really awesome dad. Yeah. And I'm normally the type of person that's with other people, I can show emotions. Like it's really easy for me to talk to somebody and understand their emotions. But with me, it sucks horrendously for me to even admit that I'm sad. Probably borderline mental illness or something because it's so insane. Anyways, like you can shut the fuck up about that, dude. All right, so this is Monstangle. He says this dude challenged me to a debate and then surrendered without me firing a shot. Literally, proof. There's proof that I did not challenge this dude to a debate. He said, "Hey, this is the same guy that was commenting like 6 months ago." He was like, "Hey, man, I'm friends with this guy, and he says that he knows you." And he said horrendous stuff about me. And I was like, so tell him to hop on a live or something or make a video. I'll respond to it. I said, dude, stop lying. LOL. Last time I checked, your comments are still there, and people can see that you challenged me to a debate. And for some reason, to a debate for some reason, because he never said why. Really, I would assume that it was about Owen. Honestly, have no idea. But I was like, okay, sure, dude. Like, make a video. This was back before I was doing lives. I said, last time I checked, your comments are still there, and people can see that you challenged me to a debate for some reason and never said about what. I told you I go live. You can and you can hop on anytime. Dude, a complete waste of time. This mind's tangle, mind's tangle. He said, "Bro, Owen bans anyone who doesn't do what he wants. That should be obvious to you. I understand you paid 400 and got scammed or whatever, but even if this was someone way more famous and not a cult leader, what you do wouldn't be worth it. I'm not going to watch your channel to see when you go live. You could tell me a time and I'll show up. Your own comments said you were too busy to do it. I don't watch your channel. I just sometimes come here to see if you've grown up yet. You got to stop being obsessed with this dude for real. Why not be obsessed with a bigger celebrity or stalk a woman? That's what mine says. Or stalk a woman. Or something. Any of those things would be better than going after a D-list celebrity. Every smart person knows it's a cult. Yeah. Like, what? I've never claimed to be the smartest person in the room, but that doesn't make any sense to me. All of that, like, according to the conversation, the flow of the conversation, in real life, this comment would be the moment that I'd walk away. But because it is written, I'll linger because it's so interesting that you could say that it's a bot, possibly, maybe. I don't know how the internet works and the bots and all that kind of stuff. Could it be a bot? Sure. Do I think it is? No, I don't. I said you would recommend stalking a woman. Mindstingle says, and you would ignore how saying this is the same as you admitting you're obsessed. I honestly don't know what that means. And you would ignore how saying this is the same as you admitting you're obsessed. That's not a full sentence. That literally doesn't make any sense to the conversation at hand. Said, seriously, how does that make sense? Monsingle, how much did you pay to get into Beartaria? Did Owen ban you? Did you try to go there? Why didn't you go to the one in Missouri? Can you stop trolling ever and answer? All right, so I'm gonna go back to yeah, we're gonna stop this because literally it doesn't make it makes my head hurt reading this. It is a chore to participate with Monsingle. The reason why I do is because I genuinely appreciate dissenting voices. I appreciate people that say, "Hey, I don't agree with you. This is the reason why." That's why most of the businesses I've ever been in prospered is because, "Hey, I'm not the smartest person in the room, and neither are you, but let's participate and make this better." Or sometimes things suck and we can get pissed off at each other and whatnot, but all of the prosperous businesses, all of them, prospered because of the ability to have a conversation with the person that disagreed with you. That's legit. That is so legit. Not too legit to quit, but it is legitimate. I'm sorry, that was corny AF, as foretold. All right, so let's just go back to this. Oh my. Monstangle. I'm going to be live for a minute. If you're out there, Monstangle, hop on, dude. Hop on. This is, what are we doing? I think so. This is the, just click that. Just click on that, hop on. We can have a conversation. Goodness. Is that? Yeah, sure. Let's do that one. That'll work.
Logan Paul is getting absolutely owned by this hilarious MMA fighter. I wanted to discuss that a little bit. I also want to discuss the Jewish people. And I think I've made a real breakthrough as to in their psychology and how we can deal with them and, live with them, endure them. And yeah. There's Kyneton. Kyneton, let's kick things off with the super chats. I actually have how many letters do I have today? I have 5 letters, which is very nice. 5 handwritten letters from the Bears. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, a little super chat and a song.
Hello? Hello.
Okay.
Hello? Can you hear me? Mic check 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me? Oh my. I hear you now. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. So what I was saying, I don't know if you heard. I mean, what I said was, if you're not driving, look at the screen. This is not the picture of a person that is happy. He's not content, and it's so bizarre that he claims to be one of the most honest people on the internet. But one of the more basic features of humanity, without even trying, people just they naturally know whenever they meet you, whatever, whenever you come across somebody. And he's not sincere. He just isn't.
Codsworth has some. Oh, and I want to apologize to Tokyo Bear for my rants yesterday.
So everybody out there that says that Owen Benjamin doesn't apologize, take your foot out of your mouth. Because sometimes he does. Now, is it sincere? Probably not. Does he do it often? No. Whenever he said F you in the Lord, did he apologize to the Christians in his chat or anybody that might listen? Did he apologize to the Lord and literally walk away from his sin? No, he said that was a Christian joke that was taken out of context. Whenever he said F you in the Lord because he didn't get enough money.
I've met Tokyo Bear. Great woman. Great family there. I know that I went pretty hard at the Japanese yesterday. Um, and I get that America's tipping obsession is annoying, especially if you just have counter help. And I've always actually really liked the Japanese culture. Swear to God, I have. I like their aesthetics. I like how polite they are. I like their
And just a simplistic red flag. It's one of the most simplistic. Whenever somebody says in a casual conversation, I swear to God, that's a red flag. You should not say that. For one, you shouldn't say that, period. But to convince somebody, I swear to God, this is not that is so alien to me in a conversation. I swear to God, that does not make any sense to me for somebody to say that. Not even to mention how often he actually says that. I swear to God. Swear to God, I've never even kissed a dude. Like, bro, he looks so sad, man. If you're not driving, I paused it. He genuinely looks sad. He does. Now, does he deserve the sadness? Possibly. I would probably no, I wouldn't probably say yes. I would say yes, he deserves the sadness. One of the most disgusting things I've ever seen anybody do is what Owen Benjamin did 4 years ago during the pandemic. Take your personal opinions away. The factual the facts of that situation. People lost their jobs, people lost their businesses. And then you have Owen running arguably one of the most disgusting scams during one of the most trying, it was global. And you have this sick son of a dried biscuit saying, hey, give me your money and I'll save you. Sell your IRAs. This is what he said. He literally said that. Sell your IRAs. It's insane. It literally is insane that he did that during that moment. And he's still saying, give me money for my own land. And people are sending him money. Now, I don't think it's on the scale that he's claiming. I really don't. I think that it's probably 90% a facade. Like it's almost all fake at this point. I really do believe there's no way that within a week that he received $117,000. That literally is insane. No. But the majority, unless there is no way, there is absolutely no way that a grown man who ran a land investment scam during the pandemic is still doing the same thing today. That makes no sense. This world is unfair, sure, a little bit. But the fact that he's still saying, hey, give me money for land in Missouri. Yeah, don't pay attention to Ursa Rio. When's the last time he mentioned Ursa Rio? He doesn't. Because it's the same thing. It is. Now, are there people out there that have stuck around? Sure. Whether it's what is it, the sunken cost fallacy or whatever. They've just put too much into the situation to walk away. I really do. I've been saying this for a minute. There's a storm of accountability. And I used to say that it was approaching, Owen. I honestly do believe that storm of accountability is right over his head. Liz, Adam, Hoax Wars, Covert, Beehive, Pandora, the Reddit. Dude, he literally brought up Reddit in his live the other day. He's supposed to be a comedian, and he didn't try to make that funny. It should have been a hilarious situation. Like, just imagine if he was legit, if he was legitimate, he should have been able to say, hey, there's a whole group of people over here who's calling me out on all of this horse hockey. And this is what they're saying. He couldn't do that. It had to be by proxy. He didn't bring up the actual Anti-Owen Benjamin subreddit. He brought up something adjacent to it. Do I find happiness in his downfall? No, I don't. I really don't. He is, at the end of the day, a grown man who's a father, who's a husband. He should be able to provide for his wife and his children. Absolutely. But Owen Benjamin is a sick son of a dried biscuit that literally deserves probably almost everything that he's going to get and that he's getting. Yeah. Like, for sure.
Building the houses they build, like the Japanese have this incredible ability of creating grooves that where entire houses just fit together symmetrical without any nails. They have paper thin walls. So basically they like never fight. Like they have giant families that never fight. High honor culture. And I just want to make sure you guys know that there's a lot about the Japanese culture I really appreciate. I was kind of transferring some of my shame about some of my behavior that happened at the restaurant. I made it very racial and very aggressive. And I understand from an outside point of view that the American tipping culture is crazy. Like I understand that but it's very American, and I'll explain. America is all about making your own future, and it's all about that. If you excel, if you go the extra distance, you get a little extra yourself. It's the opposite of that communist, egalitarian Asian mindset. The Asian mindset is, where we go one, we go all, but in a really, what I believe to be a bad, like an extreme where they all fit in, they do what's asked of them and they get the exact amount and all that. And they don't have that extra oomph, that America's have. And there is a corrupt.
So I do want to say I actively try to be what is that? I try to be mild. I try to be a mild-mannered person. Um, I'll have a conversation with anyone. I've got my own personal thoughts. That's one of the reasons why I love my wife, is because we can have conversations and then we can go out in public and just wreck shop. Do I have extreme points of view on certain things? Yeah, sure. Who doesn't? On Owen, in this entire situation, the point that I'm trying to make right now is that I so appreciate, I so greatly appreciate every single person that has say extraordinarily, that's not fair. A point of view on Owen that is not nice, that is not respectful, however you want to say that. Johnny Arcade, I thoroughly appreciate his point of view on Owen. I think that it's fair. Now, I can't bring myself to have that same thought process. I mean, it's just one of those things. I'll be nice to you while I'll lead you to the gallows. Like I'm the type of guy that will be the loving hand. I'm holding your hand while I'll lead you to the group of people that's going to chop your head off. You know, like, hey man, it does suck. It really does suck. I feel you. I know that this sucks. And then I thank God that there's somebody else that's going to say, yeah, it might suck, but you deserve to have your head chopped off. Like it takes all of us to be able to get stuff done.
Stability to the American tipping culture. And I get how, from an outside point of view, you might be like, just pay your employees more. Like a waiter, it's like you pay him $3 an hour, but sky's the limit, big boy, you know? And so that's our culture. And so if we're going to take our shoes off and bow to you and your culture, which I find ridiculous, but I get it. If I was in Japan, I would take off my shoes and I would bow and I would sit, like Karate Kid did, and I would eat the rice with the sticks. But when you're here, just understand that our culture is, if we do a good job, you pay us extra. But I just want you to know that I do.
Our culture is, if we do a good job, you pay us extra. I'm so honest whenever I say I did not pick this for any other reason than the title and the thumbnail. But listening to him talk the way that he did 2 days ago compared to this right here, it's kind of interesting. It really is, because it says that it was from August 18th, but this is an old live stream. It might have been August. I would almost guarantee you that it was August of 2023. Really? Yeah, over a year ago. Blake says, Owen better hope God doesn't allow some of us to visit him in his wonder world. Honestly, I think that he's hoping that it might escalate to that. The same way that a prolific SK wants to get caught. Like they're so blatant with their clues and whatnot. There's a possibility that he literally does want to end all of this, because it is exhausting for these people. People like Owen that do this on a day-to-day basis. Chopper, what job have you done, Owen? That is a good question. Hunter, yeah. Owen wants you to pay him extra, thus he did a terrible job. Yeah. Yeah. No, people want to be paid. Like Adam Camacho, he wants to be paid. He did a great job, and all he wanted was to be paid. He didn't want to be paid extra. He just wanted to be paid what was owed. Liz wanted to get her $400 back and be able to walk away. Not only did you say fuck you to your $400 and didn't give that back to her, Owen literally brought her back in. Same way with Johnny Arcade. Two of the most prolific people that have ever talked about Owen Benjamin could have been saved. He literally could have saved himself by simply not mentioning their names. But he did.
Appreciate your beautiful culture. I hear some super chats. Oh, we got some big ones. Wow, thanks, Limbaugh Morrison Bear. You're crushing it today. That really helped our month. We've had a pretty slow entropy the last couple months, me and Dirty Coddington. And I think it's because of him. He thinks it's because of me. There's a real war brewing. But you really just made up for it there. All right. Mormon Rishi says your Asian accent voice makes me laugh out loud. So well done and hilarious. Huh. You've been right on target, and the gravy has been flowing so well lately. Dirty Dave is a hilarious name for biblical King David. Stellar stuff lately. Impossible to list everything. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like I've been crushing. I think I know. I had a conversation with a friend of mine who's very Christian today. She's great. She's a very, very knowledgeable human being. And she was saying that circumcision was a punishment because they couldn't stop with their perversions. And I can see that because the God I love and the God I think created us is not a vengeful, mean, cruel, sadistic, dick clipping type of guy, you know? So why, if there is a command to clip the tips of your dicks, what if that's after thousands of years of these dirty little goblins literally jerking off 24/7? What if circumcision was the mercy? You know, it's something to think about. Like, I think it was like these,
No,
because
it's
now that
not.
I know.
Oh my. Oh my. Hunter, wow, he can't stop talking about dicks. No, he can't. He's and it's crazy that it's Sunday and he's taking it to this point. Oh my. Lord God Almighty. Chris Peck, one small step for mankind, but a giant leap for Owen's finger. Hunter Johnson, with one of this literally is one of seriously outside of the word of God, this is one of the best written sentences you will ever hear. No, full sentence. That is no is such a powerful, especially whenever you believe that it is. Whenever you say no and you believe that no, you end conversations. You end predicaments with the word N-O. No. It literally breaks spells. Spellcraft, rhetoric, whatever. No. 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 No.
What I know about the chosen early lifers, the early life section. You get what I'm saying? We're still on Twitter, so I gotta kind of, you get what I'm saying? The early life section of Wikipedia, people. You get what I'm saying? The fucking.
Blake asks, "Why did you choose this episode?" Honestly, it was the thumbnail and what it was titled. I've never seen this episode. It's 1757. 1757. Hear me out. Owen Benjamin offers advice to the annoying behavior of Dr. Heckle and Mr. Brad. There was literally no reason besides the thumbnail and what it was titled. Because I was going to uh, restream the 1666 live stream. And then I came to this one, and as soon as I saw it, my ears perked up, and I was like, "Oh, that's what is this one?" Yeah. So there's literally no reason besides thumbnail, title, and I've never seen it before. So there's three reasons: thumbnail, title, and I knew that I've never watched it.
The big schnazies. I think that they were. What if like it was their punishment for constantly jerking off? I don't fear God. I love and respect.
Okay, so on behalf of every grown person watching this right now, what the fuck, dude? Why? Why? Literally, why? And that should be the only time that I say the F word during this live. Am I above cussing? No. But cussing literally is a lazy way of communication. If you want to cuss, you should be able to find other or alternative words that can display your feelings. That's how I feel about cussing. Now, if I'm just shooting the shit with somebody, sure, you know, but it's really obnoxious to hear the F word to every other word and whatnot. It's like saying the word like or uh. Like, don't do it. If you want to say the word, if you want to say shut up. You have the option to not. Instead of saying choose not to.
By God. Yeah, I fear not listening to God. Paul from Pockets of the Future has been hitting home runs lately with his spiritual videos. Like, I'm not into the heartfulness shit or like Eastern meditation stuff. I'm just not. As an American, it might be a cultural thing. I don't know. I'm just not into it. But man, that guy understands some stuff. Like, that guy understands addiction. He understands, and he talks about how fearing God is really bad. And that's something that I always have been like, fear God only. You know, fear God only is a good way to live your life. But it's not that I fear God. It's that I fear separation from God. I fear not listening to the little voice that's subtle, because God is very subtle, of like, to reconnect to God. Like, I don't fear facing God. I do fear disobeying or not listening to God, which is, you could say, is a form of fearing God. It's like, does the son fear the benevolent father, or does he fear what could happen when he doesn't listen to the father? You should fear God. Deep State Bear, are you capable of listening? I'm explaining it. What I'm saying makes more sense than just fear God. Jesus Christ. You can't sit for 30 seconds and listen? I fear my consequences from not trusting God. Right, exactly.
I'm saying you can't sit for 30 seconds and just listen. I'm like, dude. There are people that say that I read the chat too much. I've gotten that feedback a lot. But honestly, I know. And I think one of the reasons why I have been successful in the things that I've done is that I have the ability to understand that I am not the smartest person in the room and that I do require feedback. I do. But I also understand people tuning into a live stream and just wanting to hear the person talk, or and I detach myself from that. I say hear the person talk. I'm obviously talking about myself. That's crazy. Oh my. So I'm going to go back to the chat and read the chat, read a comment. Stanley, WTF, jerking off, really? Forever talking about male genitalia or something pornographic in nature. Yes. Yep. That's what Owen Benjamin does. Fear porn and verbal porn is all he has, really. Chris Peck, I kind of hope Owen builds that swimming pool with the donor towards money and streams his family swims. Well, ironically, a lot of people in the bear community wish he would actually do that as well. Chopper, Owen has said he can't steal podcasts from Paul anymore. Yeah. He literally admitted to stealing other people's intellectual property. And it was his, I can't remember the number for it, but the name is pretty close to I'm taking my skull. And he literally told his audience, hey, I justify stealing other people's intellectual property because I have a bigger audience than them.
Exactly. So, like, does the son fear the benevolent father or fear the repercussions from not listening to the benevolent father? Because that's a major difference. Because there is a victim consciousness of saying God is doing this to me, like, just God. I'm sorry. It's okay, Deep State Bear. I'm not mad at you. There's probably a delay. It's like what the demons and the gremlins and the golems and the goblins and Satan's little army has in store for you and how they can punish you is nothing compared to how you will be punished if you don't listen to God. So, and by listening to God, that doesn't mean the guy in the dress. It doesn't mean, the hermeneutics and shit like that. It's just like, you don't need to apologize, Deep State Bear, by the way. It's what your life will become if you don't follow God. And so I thought that was really interesting because he was talking about how he's really nailing it with RFK. Because when Paul, and I really hope you guys are like this with me, if I say stuff that you really disagree with, because I know I do that all the time. I know that a lot of you guys will say I will say something and you're like, you're so crazy wrong, I can't listen to you. Okay, I loathe RFK Jr. and Paul from Pockets, who was one of the first people to actually break the right-left paradigm for me about like how there really isn't a right or a left wing and how voting doesn't matter. Like, he's one of the reasons that I think that. Okay, he started talking about how he's encouraging people to vote for RFK and he wants to vote for RFK, and it was like almost painful to listen to. But hang on one second. Boops, I hate that I thought about circumcision so much yesterday, but hear me out. Maybe Saul asked for foreskins because he wanted proof that the dead men were not Jews. Ooh, interesting, Boops. We'll get back to that. And I will get past the circumcision thing. It's really cool that like even Twitter is starting to understand my patterns. 4 months ago, they'd be like, you're obsessed. Why don't you leave it alone? Because I'll tweet about the same thing for 2 days, 3 days. And it'll be like 50 tweets. And people will think I'm obsessed, and then I move on, and I just move on. It's like how I'm writing a bit. So right now I'm talking a lot about circumcision, but I literally will stop in like a day, and I'll have my bit, and then I move on. So anyway, so when Paul was talking about how RFK is a real truther, and he was even mocking people who don't like him and stuff, it was kind of painful to listen to, but I do have a trust of the guy. Like, I don't think he's a liar. I think he's funny, and I really like his stream. So I just kept listening, and I didn't really care. And then he slowly started seeing what RFK really is in a way that's more profound and more accurate than even my view of him. And so it's worth it to not bail on your favorite podcaster because they're saying something that you disagree with. Because now Paul has been diving really deep into the problem with addicts, the problem with sex addicts, the problem with drunks, the problem with like the people that are not satisfied and they have this like yearning to be these tricksters, to like self-sabotage and to like hurt those around them because they want to be punished. And he was talking about how RFK is that times 1,000. RFK is worse than Trump. I swear to God, I think Trump is less self-destructive and less toxic than RFK. And I believe Trump is a fairly toxic individual, but he's a lot less of like an addict. Like, he's a lot like Trump's problem these days is the savior complex. Like, I think the Q-tards really polluted Trump's mind into thinking he actually is saving the world, and not just a middle manager at a defunct corporation called the United States government. And that's what made Trump annoying, is Trump like became this like Messiah complex kind of that is really, that's an addiction. Like, that's kind of like an addiction. But the RFK, like the heroin and the cheating and the like that like addictive, hurting everyone around you mentality, if he does that to his wife, he'd do that to you, and how the soul is pure and the soul wants to return to God, and the ego is fighting the soul. At least Trump is funny. He's not as funny as he used to be. 2016 Trump is great. Like, that guy was hilarious. But now it's like Joe Rogan isn't funny now. Joe Rogan used to be hilarious. It really does get worse. Like, Trump was funny. He's not funny now. And I went through a phase like that too. Like, I went through a phase when I was like maybe 2019. I don't know when it was. When I was deep into like Trinity, and like I thought everyone was out to get me because I was getting kicked off everything. And religion. I was getting real mad. I was less funny. Like I've had periods of time on this podcast where I forgot my role and I started thinking that I was somebody I wasn't, and I lost my humor briefly. And now I think lately I've been funnier than ever. So I'm happy I got it back. But that you can't be funny and the Messiah complex at the same time. You actually lose your sense of humor. And so don't worry, Denmark Bear. I'm firmly rooted in comedy. I will never stray again. I'm not a real boy. Like, I don't get to be a real boy with a political party and a religion. I bet Trump won't go back in Twitter because he knows he's not funny anymore. Trump is an actor. Trump is playing a role. Trump is bought and paid for. Trump is Israel first. Yeah, but I was an actor. When people say actor, what does that mean? Like, if somebody was in the military, does that mean they're always corrupt?
So I had to go take care of something. People have a gaping hole within themselves. One of my favorite comedians happens to be a female, Janine Garofalo. She is also she's also a an atheist. And one of the most bizarre things that I've ever heard anybody say was whenever she said, and she was angry about this. She said, I hate whenever something is really tough and I have to get over it. And it's just natural for me to cry out to God. Janine Garofalo, it's because you do need God. You do. People feel the need to fill the void. Everybody has that inane ability to want more. And healthy people use that to be better. They get kind of we get kind of uh, a feeling of maybe anger or whatever you want to call it towards yourself because of your own actions, because of our own actions. And healthy people say, hey, instead of wanting more physical stuff, more money, more food, more whatever, a very healthy action you can take is sitting down, shutting the fuck up, and literally talking to God, saying, hey, yo, dude, this kind of sucks. What's up? Like, why are we doing this? Why? One of the hardest things that a person can do in today's age is to sit in silence. I used to be able to do that way, way easier than I can at this moment. And I'm extraordinarily disappointed in myself for not doing that more often than I do now. That literally is one of the best things that you can do. I know everybody's busy. You've got jobs, we've got family, we've got kids, we've got spouses, friends. But seriously, being able to sit down in silence is one of the best things that you can do for yourself and everybody around you. It's such a good thing that I would say you don't even have to meditate on anything. You don't have to think, just literally sit down, shut up with nothing going around. Like almost to the point to where you don't have to have an objective to do it. Just do that thing. To have the ability to sit in silence is such a valuable. Like you're going into battle and you have the biggest gun type of thing.
Up like his Crow. You can't listen to Crow because he was a Marine. It's like, what does an actor mean? Capable of wearing multiple hats, capable of reading a script. Yeah, Trump definitely is that. They're all Israel first because Israel is like I've done whole streams on it, and I recommend you listen to the stream I did about what is Israel and why they have control of it and why it's so important to them. I believe it has to do with the position on the chessboard, that it's like so crucial. That position is so crucial for trade. And there's a lot going into Israel. It's also a way to wash money. It's also a way to run corporate schemes and scams through America. Like America and Israel are almost not like separated at this point.
No, I was raised with the impression, work hard. People genuinely want good things for everybody. And one of the saddest realizations that I've ever had, and I mean that so sincere, is that there are so many people that are just about the money. They want to make as much money as possible, and it doesn't matter how that they're going to make it. I've walked away from pretty much prosperity just because I didn't agree with how they were doing it. That goes back to one of the reasons why I cover Owen so much, is because through the pandemic, man, the pandemic was such a good excuse to be a decent human being. And Owen literally went to the other end of being a decent human being and ran with it.
Like when someone says Israel, it's like our entire Congress is Israeli, you know? And then when you start asking, what does it mean to be Israeli? Like, these people have been Israeli for at most 85 years total. And
Stanley says, I never particularly found Owen funny either. Never had anything against him. I was just never a big fan. I have such a low standard for humor. I constantly judge myself for what I laugh at. Um, I rarely ever laugh out loud. Do I understand your opinion on Joe Rogan? 100%. I really do. Like, is he even close to being one of the greatest comedians ever? No. But I do honestly find Joe Rogan to be one of the most interesting human beings that's ever lived. I've compared him to Michael Jackson. I know there's going to be a lot of people that will disagree with that, but I mean, honestly, I do. Like Michael Jackson to music is Joe Rogan to podcasting humanity, conversations. Joe Rogan is a specimen to me. Like, it doesn't even matter. You could not. I honestly don't think that you could, because there's conspiracies out there that Joe's a plant or whatever. Nobody could. Joe Rogan, who Joe Rogan is, what he is, a mildly successful comedian, one of, if not arguably, the most successful podcast people out there. He moves from LA. He tried to move to Colorado, and then he realized he realized that state sucks. So he moved to Texas. Shout out to Texas. I love Texas. I do. Texas Go radio show. Then he moved to Texas. He spent his own money. He literally spent, while Owen was such a gross human being during the pandemic, you know what Joe Rogan was doing? He literally had employees that he was paying hard earned cash. Nobody just donated to Joe. He earned the cash and he was paying. Joe Rogan was paying money to people during the pandemic in the hopes that his business takes off. He said, "Hey, leave your job, I'll pay you." And they said, "Yes, of course." That makes sense. You want to pay me more money for me to do my job? Absolutely. And then the pandemic happens. And then you know what Joe did? He said, hey, I know that we can't work, but I'm still going to pay you for 2 years. Without you doing anything, I'm going to do the right thing because I have the money to do it. Here's cash. Here's checks. Here you go. Please stick around. Please stick around for me. Now, I think that's one of the reasons why his latest special sucks is because he worked out his special in his own club. That's why I think that it sucks, because I do think that Joe has a genuine sense of humor, but I think that his new special kind of sucks because of him working it out in his own yes man, even though that he doesn't portray himself to be that type of person. That's just what it is. But I guess the point that I'm trying to make is, oh my, do I have more respect for Joe Rogan than I do for Owen Benjamin? Because what I said literally is the truth. Joe Rogan said, hey, come work for me. And they said, yes, of course. You're paying me more money. And then there was no ability for his people that he's paying to do their job. And he didn't say, hey, I know contracts, because this is what was told to me. Holy. I signed a contract with a company, and they were supposed to pay me a certain amount of money no matter what. Show up, do this. This is what I'm telling you to do. So do this, and I'm going to pay you this. And not only did I do what they wanted, I did it double. I literally doubled, more than doubled, honestly. I literally did twice as much as what they wanted. Literally, numbers proved what I did, and it was a good thing. And then the owner of the company came to me and said, "Hey, I know that we've got a contract, but it didn't account for a pandemic." I work my ass off. And for him, that person, multi-millionaire, 60 plus business owning son of a person, because he's got a mother, to come to me during that time. And do you know how much money that it was over? This multi-millionaire came to me and said, I can't pay you because the contract didn't specify a pandemic. This was while I was given 60 plus hours while getting paid 39, because he obviously accepted the help from the government. And because of that, he couldn't pay overtime. 60 plus hours, getting paid 39 hours, working for this multi-millionaire as though it was my own business. And he said, I can't pay you what you want because the contract didn't specify a pandemic. And it took me literally 2 weeks to digest that. That literally made no sense to me. And the amount of money that we were talking about is minuscule. I mean, we're talking just a couple of $100, literally. There are so many gross people out there. And honestly, I'm one of them. I am. Sometimes I'm selfish. Sometimes good Lord, dude. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Happy Sunday, guys.
Who were they before? Where were they? Is it paperwork? Is it a bloodline. You know, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Jays today because I had an interesting interaction with a Jay I know and how to handle them and endure them. Some of you Jays are great. Like, I have nothing but good things to say about you, and I actually trust a lot of you guys. Whether it's Toronto Jew Bear, Samson the Great out of Israel, or Yogi's not even religious. He's just an Israeli. I mean, I love a lot of you guys. I don't hold any of that against you at all. But there is this like cultural zeitgeisty.
Such a weird thing to have to say, though. Just say, I don't hold any of that against you. Dude, I've literally conducted so many interviews. I've conducted more interviews than I've been in, but none of what he's talking about is relative to reality. I know that's redundant, but he's so detached. Owen Benjamin is so detached from reality that he's like, like it's a good thing that I don't hold any of this. Like it's important. I guess it's important. I'm adopted, so I truly do not understand lineage and all the pride that people have. I don't know where I came from, you know, but a lot of people do, and I respect that. That's where a lot of my inappropriate humor towards race comes from, is because I mean, race equals where they came from type of situation. Whenever thank you, Daryl, for hopping on. Daryl Strawberry. Glory to God. I love you, Daryl. Whenever he hopped on, he called himself white. Where I mean, are you? Like, I made a joke and I felt bad about that joke. Like, I made that joke thinking that we were boys and whatnot, and like it would be fun. But as soon as I said it, it didn't make any sense. Anyways, I truly don't understand the whole race. I mean, I do. I understand the whole race thing. Colors matter, whatever. Staying within your own tribe, all that kind of stuff. But being adopted, I've always known that I was adopted. And I literally remember me finding out that the majority of people were not adopted. I remember the guy's name. I don't remember the year or anything like that, but I remember where I was at, and I remember having the conversation, and he wasn't adopted, and he was like that whole conversation. I thought that it was just normal. I thought people just bought people. I didn't know where kids came from, I guess. I don't know. Like, we're all humans. On it I do understand. I do, like, on a certain level, I do understand all of that. But my core feelings, I guess one of the reasons why I'm so nice to everybody is because it's just one of those things. I don't understand being upset because somebody is a different thing than you. Now, whenever it boils down to hurting somebody else or somebody else's property, yeah, sure. I'm a grown ass man with that. But I am so like a retarded child whenever it comes to, you're mad because they're a different color? Fucking what? What? So much so, it doesn't make any sense. You can't make, I mean, you can make a little bit of money, but you can't be overtly prosperous being racist. You can't do that because there's, what is it, 8 billion people in the world? We're not the same. None of us are the same at all. That literally does not make any sense to me. I can sit there and shut up and be like, okay, I can understand a little bit. But I mean, it truly doesn't. You're racist? Why? How does that benefit you to hate somebody based on the color of their skin? That literally does not make any sense to me. It makes so little sense that literally in my everyday life, oh my, is this accurate? Never comes up. Never comes up. Not even a little bit. Not in any conversation, not in any kind of interview. Does race or religion come unless it's church related? One of the worst, and I say worst, it was one of the longest interviews I've ever done. And I'm going to give a little bit of information that I normally wouldn't. I was asked to be uh, a pastor, like a secondhand pastor or whatever of a church. This was around 2016. I don't have any affiliations. I don't, you know, if you believe in Jesus Christ of Nazareth, that's what yeah, have that personal relationship. And a official church, the pastor reached out and he said, "Hey man, dude, I would love for you to come on board." I said, "Sure. Let me think and pray about it." And I eventually said yes. One of the worst interviews, and I say worst is because there was 5 people on the other side of the table, and all of them had questions, theological questions, and it lasted for over 2.5 hours. It was insane.
Thing that we will talk about today because it's pretty fucking tedious. But a lot of you guys are really cool, honestly. It's kind of like America. Like there is an American, like that, like tipping or owning guns or like homesteading or like baseball and like tailgating. Like we have a thing. There is a thing called American, just like there's a thing called Jew, beyond the religion of Jew. Like there's a thing. As E. Michael Jones once said, if there's no the Jews, who the hell has Poland been paying all this money to for the last 85 years? And they're not a threat, and I don't hate them at all. And I was tweeting about that and talking about that, about how I'm very grateful to a lot of Muslims for helping me understand Jews better and not hate them. And that made some Jews spiral, like freak out, because, and then other people that are like, oh, you're going soft. You can't forgive what they've done, 9/11, whatever the fuck it is. And I'm like, no, dude, that sucks you in. Like, forgive. Like, don't. Hating them gives them power. Like, they want you to hate them. I think they are just all crazy groups. I've been watching the documentary Europa about the Jays, and it's definitely not for the faint of heart. Yeah, there's like propaganda to that too, though. Like I was watching The Greatest Story Never Told, and it's like propaganda. It's like it's interesting to know. Bismillah says, I think you're real, Owen, but I think you realize that your real role is as court jester archetype, and it's hard to do that role while juggling other public leadership roles, religious scholar. Yes, exactly. I can't be a religious scholar. I've tried. It's like impossible for me. I can be friends with religious scholars. Like I love that I got to talk to that Islamic scholar that you hooked me up with, Bismillah Bear. But like my role, my God-given gifts do not jive really well with religion. And it doesn't mean I don't have faith in God. It doesn't mean I don't believe in the law. It doesn't mean I don't love religion and think that there's a great role for it. I would just be like lying to myself if I thought that I was good at that. Like I can do that. It doesn't jive well with it because I don't know. There's something mischievous about being a comedian. And it's really hard to do that and expect people to take you seriously. Now, the bard became king in Game of Thrones and slayed the dragon. He was the bard who did it. Like the bard, the storyteller, is a great position for community leadership, but it's not a great position for religious scholar, in my opinion. Europa's propaganda. It says Adolfo is the stable person who went to church sometimes. Yeah, I don't believe it's like I think you should watch those things. Like I think you should watch Battle Europa and watch Greatest Story Never Told.
Hello. No audio. Yep. Muted. Oh my. All right. That is so true. All right. So let's just take it back a couple. All right. So I stopped the live stream. I'm going to address Mindstangle because he literally is. You're back. Yeah. Thank y'all. It's so crazy that Owen gets pissed off that people tell him that his audio sucks because it's literally helpful. Um, all right, so I stopped and I changed. I went to this screen. Mindstangle. I know you're listening. I know for a fact that you are one of the 26 people right now. I know that. And I'm going to say one of the worst things that I've ever said to anybody given context. Given the context, this is literally one of the worst things I've ever said to another human being. Mindstangle, I hope that God gives you what you deserve. And that's the last thing that I will ever say. Well, I'm not going to say ever. I don't know. You can't predict the future, right? That literally is. Given the context, I hope God gives you, Mindstangle, what you deserve.
And watch if you're, Hebrews to slaves or whatever that Kyrie was talking about. There's nothing wrong with watching propaganda, just like watching, CNN or Fox or Donald Trump.
Or Owen Benjamin. One of the reasons why I find the whole Adam Camacho thing so interesting is I hold back. I do. I hold back on that situation because I've been on YouTube for close to a decade, and I've always treated YouTube as a notepad because I knew no matter where I was, if I had internet connection, I could get to that. Like, F off Microsoft, whatever, you got to pay for all that kind of bullshit. But I knew for a fact that I could log into YouTube and continuously take notes. I knew that. So naturally, I try to hold back. I guess that's the point of that. Adam Camacho, in this entire situation, he had a very successful career in Hollywood. Like top 99.99999% of people that are like, I want to move to Hollywood and I'm going to be successful. He actually lived that. He was that. More so than Owen Benjamin, literally. And then he got roped in with Owen and the whole all of that. And then he walked away. And not only did he walk away, he had the balls to say, hey guys, this is my situation. And he was more than willing and is more than willing to have a conversation about that. Adam, brother, I hope, I know that you might not be here, but man, I hope that you're having a great Sunday.
For any of this stuff, for Joe Biden, it's like, but just be aware that none of it is the truth. It's all coming from a point of view of manipulation. All of it. Every political world leader has an agenda, and that agenda cannot be totally true because the nature of politics. I was rewatching Princess Bride last night. That's
I'm sure you were. he often, there's a word that goes around a lot, especially whenever you upset somebody. They say, you're projecting. Literally, Owen Benjamin projects. I do this for a number of reasons. Would I do this as often as I do it if it didn't scratch some kind of itch? No, it does. It literally does scratch the oh, people do exist like that. Watching Owen do what he does, it really is important. And one thing, we're living in a small town now, so it's not as relevant. But whenever me and my wife lived, my wife and kid lived in a big city, I was such a obnoxious prick to her, like going out in public. I would constantly remind her and my son, be as small as possible. Our objective is to be as small as possible. Like literally, shut the fuck up. We're going in, we're coming out. That's what we're doing. We don't know anybody. There's literally no benefit, which is untrue because you can you can find people that are genuinely worth being friends with. But I guess the point of that is I'm a happier person being in a small town. That's for sure.
That's a movie that my kids can watch. And Prince Humperdinck, I believe, is supposed to be Lucifer. Every time I watch that movie, there's more and more and more in that movie. That movie is ladled with truth shown to you from the point of view of the jester. Remember when Prince Humperdinck, when one of his guys is complaining and he goes, try ruling the world sometime. He's the prince of the world, not Gildor. He says he's the prince of the world. And so what does the prince of the world do? And so you have Israel in that movie is represented by Vincini. It's and yet he gains. Vincini, this like little whiny manipulative guy who has the giant, who's America, and then you have the revenge guy, and you have the four horses of the apocalypse, and it's like so they literally have the Holocaust cloak given to them by Billy Crystal's character who wants revenge. Do you remember? It's like what I wouldn't give for a Holocaust cloak. And he's like, oh, you mean the one I got at Miracle Max's? And he's like, why didn't you tell me about that in the first place? Why didn't you list it amongst our assets? And then so he wears a Holocaust cloak, and the Holocaust is used to make them invisible and create an illusion that allows them in the castle gates. He sets himself on fire, and he goes, the Dread Pirate Roberts. That movie also shows you about how characters are played by multiple people. I believe the Queen, the President, like these are titles. So the Dread Pirate Roberts was played by like 4 different guys. There was no Dread Pirate Roberts. It was a corporation. Isn't that fascinating? And the red flag to start a war, it's all there. Yeah, they show you how a false flag works. And Vincini, the false flag guy, the wizard, the Israeli, talks about how it's a honored and respected tradition, starting wars using false flags. They're going to murder the princess on the plains of Gildor and frame whatever for it and start a war, and they profit from the war. And then Prince Humperdinck is the prince of this world. Try ruling the world sometime. And then, the good king dies. And it's loaded with esoteric gravy, that movie. And then the false binary of like, who do I vote for? Is it the cup in front of me or the cup in front of you? Is it about strength, right wing, or about brains, left wing? You understand? And then you realize that both the cups are poison, and Wesley has developed an immunity to iocane powder. Remember that? That's about voting, where he's like, you are clearly a man of strength, so I cannot drink so you would put the poison in front of you, so I clearly cannot drink the poison in front of you. But you bested my Spaniard, which means you're a man of great skill, which means you are smart and you have learned and you know that man is mortal and you want to keep the poison away from yourself as far as possible. So I clearly cannot choose the wine in front of me. And then he goes, what's that over there? And he switches the glasses to win a false binary. To win a false binary, you lose because they're both poisoned, right? And so, and then he goes, Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, morons. He goes, and never fight a land war in Asia. It's true. Don't fight the Russians. You lose every time. Don't fight Afghanistan. Never fight a land war in Asia, but only slightly less well known is never fight a Sicilian, which means Jewish, when death is on the line. Okay, moving on. Even in Harry Potter, the bankers were depicted like Jewish. Yeah, but it's more about being inbred because it's not about being, it's really not really about the religion, in my opinion. It's about consolidating bloodlines so that you keep getting richer and richer. You always end up looking like goblins, even if you're like Danish or Austrian or Egyptian or some dynasties in China. You always end up.
You're gonna make me say some weird stuff. Miss Texas Goat. This is my wife, by the way, Mrs. Texas Goat. You're amazing, TG. Keep it up. You know how you know that that is accurate? Because my wife said it. And she's hardly ever wrong. That joke is so funny to me. Oh my. I love you, baby. What are you doing? Where are you at? I don't know what's going on. I'm sitting here responding to hey, my brother, if you're listening. They made it to Florida. They landed. He sent me pictures of the what was it? Condominium. How did he word that? Hello. Yeah, no. My audio's good. That's how that works, Owen. Anyways. Yeah, so they made it to Florida. Sweet. I know that you're busy. I love you too. I know. I'm just joking. Yeah, they made it and he sent me pictures. He's right on the ocean front. Am I jealous a little bit? Yes, I am. I told him he better taste the water. If he doesn't taste the water, I know it's going to be gross and he shouldn't health wise. But if he doesn't, that's going to be a dumb reason why I'm upset with him. And that's how blessed our relationship is because I'm actively looking for reasons to be upset with him. Is that childish? Yes. Is it stupid? Of course. But that's fine.
Like, you know how they
I love you, sweet. I can't wait to see you.
they've depicted certain monsters in Japan that look exactly like quote unquote Jews, like big noses. Codsworth, will you give me the image of like the monster in Japan? You get big noses, big ears, you get hunchbacks, and you rub your hands. That's from inbreeding. Like, yeah, British royal family. Yeah. It's not Jews. It's like these dynastic lines that will marry first cousins and they will keep it because they really think their bloodline is magical and special. All right. I just saw a clarification on the scene. It was stated that he and
Sweetheart, I saw your post, your comment on my latest community post. It was a picture of my cane, and you didn't make a comment. You didn't reference the cane at all, and so officially, I'm upset with you. Just artificial, artificial, angry. I mean, I have no idea. I've been accused of using chat. What is it? Chat GPT. Never used it. Honestly, I have no idea what it is. That cane, though. He says, "'Cause you already know that I like it." Yeah, but they don't. You're talking in front of my friends, man. We're gonna have a family meeting whenever you get home. Understand that, woman. Oh my. The inside jokes or whatever. It's just awkward and kind of insane. I love you, sweetheart. Good Lord. Back to Owen. Oh my. Totes. See? See, that's almost the equivalent of saying K. She knows. She knew that that would upset me. Why would she say that, totes? K. No, you declare your love to me in front of my friends, sweetheart. That's insane. I'm livid right now. I'm so, oh my. Alaire. Uh, yes. Baby, I love you.
Inhaled the poison and the drink triggered it like estrogen and jabs. I don't know about that. Well, I mean, they also talk about masks where they're like, never trust a man who wears a mask. And then later he says, everyone will be wearing masks. If you feel like your blood is chosen and magical, inbreeding is inevitable, right? And then you always end up looking like a goblin. So I've been talking about the chosen special boys on Twitter a lot, which is probably not advisable. But I've been trying to which Jap image? The one, it's like a monster and they have a huge nose. It literally looks like a grappler. It looks like an Asian grappler. Okay, so I've been talking a lot on Twitter about, the special boy bloodlines because it is kind of falling apart. There was a guy that he's all right. I'm not even going to say his name. I don't want to bash the guy. It's fine. But I'm typically pretty open to anybody, for better, for worse. Like I will be friends. My brother's the same way. Like we will be friends with like homeless people and bring them home for Thanksgiving. So it's like, I'll talk to anybody.
What? What? He is perpetually online. He perpetually is the victim. The only appropriate victim is Owen Benjamin. What the actual F did he just say? Because he said it rolled off of his tongue with such ease. What he just said is so extraordinarily problematic. Literally, I'm saying that and I mean the inflection of this. What he just said
on Twitter about, the special boy bloodlines because it is kind of falling apart. There was a guy that he's all right. I'm not even going to say his name. I don't want to bash the guy. It's fine. But I'm typically pretty open to anybody, for better, for worse. Like I will be friends. My brother's the same way. Like we will be friends with like homeless people and bring them home for Thanksgiving.
if that was ever the case, we would know that. Literally. He would have taken pictures, he would have shown it. He is not the type of person. Owen Benjamin is not the type of person that does what the word of God literally tells you to do, which is to do those things in secret. He doesn't believe in charity. Now, possibly could Owen's brother have done what he just said? Possibly. Bringing home a homeless person on Thanksgiving. Okay, so let's go ahead and utilize that right there. Could Owen Benjamin's brother have done that? Possibly. I'm not going to take that away from his brother because his brother is not an online present. He literally is irrelevant. So let's just go ahead and acknowledge that and put it off to the side. But Owen saying what he just said, as easy as he said it, is insane. Most people, and I do mean most people, do not operate this way. And that's why pieces of shit like Owen are able to navigate through life, is because the majority of people, there's no debate whether or not people are good or bad, whatever. A true nugget of just universal truth is that the majority of people do not wake up every day thinking somebody like this exists. The majority of people do not wake up thinking people like Owen wakes up and they decide to say things like this in order to manipulate people. Holy mother of turpentine, is this problematic?
The guy, it's fine. But I'm typically pretty open to anybody, you know, for better, for worse. Like, I will be friends. My brother's the same way. Like, we will be friends with like homeless people and bring them home for Thanksgiving. So it's like,
The people that do that, for the most part, they don't say that. They don't say, yeah, we're the type of people that bring people home, homeless people home for Thanksgiving. No. Most people that actually do that don't say that. I'm reminded of whenever the apostles came to Jesus and they said, "Hey, Jesus, we need to put a stop to this person over here. They're healing in your name and they're not a part of us." And Jesus said, "Calm down, dude. Are they, are they preaching my name?" They said, "Yeah. All right. Let them. I am so I am I honestly if it yeah. One thing that kind of one of the things that I try to stay away from are people that I don't comment on false prophets and stuff like that. If they're preaching Jesus, because the end goal is Jesus. There's only one way to Father God, and that's Jesus Christ of Nazareth. So if you're preaching that, I kind of stay away from you unless you're hurting somebody else or somebody else's property. And children, literally. Now, some people might find this offensive, but children literally fall into both of those. They are somebody else and they are somebody else's property. Until they become a full legal adult, they belong to the parent. Hurting somebody else and somebody else's property, that's whenever it's, yeah, I'm going to say something. But if you're preaching Jesus Christ of Nazareth being the way, the truth, the life, Godspeed.
I'll talk to anybody and I will be like friends with people until they kind of like do something crazy. And I'm starting to just not really want to be friends with a lot of Jewish people. And I'll tell you why, because there's like this thing that happens where they go fucking crazy and they try and ruin your life. If you say something they don't approve of and they get really scared and fearful and then just go,
They get really scared. They get, hey guys, really the only reason why people don't like me is because of how truthful I am. What there's this is one of the reasons why I think that he might be truly insane. One of the only reasons why people don't like me is because of how awesome I am. Like what? What the flippity flat, bro? I actively try to be a good person. I'm not a good person. I'll say I'm a decent person. People call me a good person. I don't like that. That makes me uncomfortable because no man is good. I actively try to be a good person. I do. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. I try to be whatever he was and is to come. That is an active participation on my part. For somebody to say what he just said, What?
Jewish people. And I'll tell you why, because there's like this thing that happens where they go fucking crazy and they try and ruin your life. If you say something they don't approve of and they get really scared and feel.
Oh my. There is so much emotion of me. I'm not trying to project. He's just saying words, right? It's me accepting these words, saying, hey, I'm going to analyze these words. Him saying what he just said. These people are so upset, and my words make them so angry. Yes, they do. Yeah. Because the majority of people didn't wake up in 2020 saying, hey, this is my prime time to thrive. This is whenever I'm going to take advantage. I would see, I was about to say something. Oh, get in touch with your emotions, man. Like literally, that's going back to what I was talking about earlier. It is so important to just sit down, shut up, and just be in silence. I'm ashamed. I am literally ashamed of how uncomfortable with my own silence that I am right now. Compared to what I used to be able, like just enjoying the silence. Literally, what he just said is so problematic that it's insane. And I say literally, what he just said. People are upset with me because what?
Want to be friends with a lot of Jewish people. And I'll tell you why, because there's like this thing that happens where they go fucking crazy and they try and ruin your life. If you say something they don't approve of and they get really scared and fearful and then just go nuts. And I'm over it, man. I'm just kind of over it. And like,
This is an old stream. This is over a year ago. And this sounds like it came out yesterday. The people that tell me there are people that say, what are you doing? Why do you waste your time on Owen Benjamin? Obviously, he's old news. Obviously, he's spent out. Like, obviously, there's so many reasons not to. If you're not driving, look at the screen. Look at that face. That's him. I didn't mean to pause it on that face. I didn't. Oh darn. Chiefs up 10 to 3. Oh my. What I would how would oh my. Would I rather be sitting in oh darn's living room watching that football game than what I'm doing right now? I really would. Yes. Oh my. That made me question, like, why am I not in a friend's living room watching the football game? It's because I don't like football and I don't live my life like I do, but I definitely would participate. I would. That's what being a friend is. I don't like sports and I love sports. I don't like watching uh anyways, we don't need to get into that. Oh darn, we are on the porch, goat. No TV in the living. Yeah, dude, I would be so down. I would prefer to be on your porch. Let me smoke a cigarette and have a conversation with you in person, your mom, and your wife. Um, seriously, oh darn, thank you for hopping on last night.
like this one guy talked to him and like I'm like, yeah, I'll talk to him. And he's super Jewish, super magical bloodline, super like, all that stuff. Thinks that there was way more than 6 million in the Holocaust, and the Jews actually built all the cathedrals, and everyone's out to get them. Blah 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 blah. Right? But I'm cool. I'm like, yeah, everybody's got their thing, and we can be friends. And then I find out he's talking all this shit about me behind my back. And I confronted him and I'm like, dude, like, because I did a post about Muslims, how I like Muslims. And he was like so offended and so angry that he was like talking to one of my friends about how I'm the reason synagogues get attacked and all this shit. I said to the guy,
Yes, sir. Oh, darn. Oh, darn says, Goat, I need to take you to a game at Arrowhead. I would love that.
I'm like, bro, this is why people don't like you guys. It's because you're deceptive and you backstab people. Like, so the post that got him really, really triggered. And then he goes, why? Because I don't like one of your posts. Let me guess, you want to round me.
Okay, so I was gonna go do something. And then Owen Benjamin does what Owen Benjamin does. What did he just say? Holy mother of turpentine.
Me up. And I'm like, oh, it's because you're deceptive and you backstab people.
Yeah, no shit. Let's Adam Camacho. I know that you're probably busy this morning taking care of your family, but holy there you are. Dude, deceptive and box, bro. Dude, I know that you're busy doing your thing, man. But holy, hey guys, do you know how important I am? The synchronicities, guys. Like, what the flippity flap? As soon as he said that, as soon as he said that, Adam, right there. This is from a year ago. Blake asked earlier, he's like, why did you like what made you click this stream? And it was literally just the thumbnail and the title. Because I was going to something else. Adam, I love you, man, and I hope that your Sunday is glorious, brother. And, like the synchronicity of you hopping, like you, dude.
Friends about how I'm the reason synagogues get attacked and all this shit. And I said to the guy, I'm like, bro, this is why people don't like you guys. It's because you're deceptive and you backstab people. Like, so the post that got him really, really triggered. And then he goes, why? Because I don't like one of your posts. Let me guess, you want to round. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I realized what they are. They're like strippers. They're like really damaged girls that you like have sex with. And then you're like always trying to avoid the rest of your life. That's Jews mostly, not all, but like, it's crazy. So the post that really, really triggered him was one of the reasons I feel such camaraderie with Islam is they help me understand the redacted and oddly forgive them and realize they're only hurting.
Even whenever I was a man whore in my early 20s, I did not think of women that way. What he just said, that is such a damaged.
Crazy. So the post that really, really triggered him was one of the reasons I feel such camaraderie with Islam is they help me understand the redacted and oddly forgive them and realize they're only hurting themselves when they do this stuff to people. Subversion and destroying is a fear response to their own trauma and their own past. Most Christians just sign up for any war or fundraiser for anyone that wears that bizarre little hat. It was alienating for me. Muslims have had to live with and deal with these people for so long that they have really valuable information about how to keep your gratitude and your happiness and not get angry at them. And for that, I'm very grateful. Like a Muslim friend in my life, when I used to hate Ben Shapiro, like, guys, you remember 2018, I'm pounding.
Okay, so I'm not going to go back. I don't know how far back that was. But his opinion on women, even whenever I was very distasteful with my actions, I tended to be very respectful towards those people that I wanted to interact with, which were women, right? In my early 20s, him talking the way that he does. And he's not the only people that do this. He's not the only person. Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go too into that, but it's interesting to hear Owen talk about women in contrast to how he talks about the other things.
White Claw. I'm starting to get fucking mad. And this one of my friends really helped. And I wasn't like ever gonna like violently attack anybody or anything, but I was like, I fucking loathe these. And I thought that they were like,
How would you feel the need to say that? I wasn't gonna violently attack. Okay. For those of you that, because at this time, there are people that just don't know. They don't know how the real world works and whatnot. They don't have men in their life. And I'm definitely not a spokesperson for men. But I will say this. Men tend to not have to say, I wasn't going to violently attack. They tend not to say, I'm the alpha or I'm whatever kind of weird gay shit that he's talking about. Oh, you sit or stand silently and watch. And then whenever you, God forbid, you have to uh, take an action, you do it silently. You don't let the women and children know that somebody had to be taken out. You don't. And the rest of the men agree because there had been a prior conversation before, and it's literally as though it never happened. Owen Benjamin is one of the weakest, quote unquote, men I've ever seen in my life.
they were like trying to hurt me. You understand? You see? And I was almost going into the victim consciousness that you see in so many like Groypers and so many America First guys, where it's like, where it's like that. The irony is a lot of them act like quote unquote Jews about how Jews are hurting them. Okay, you killed God, you killed Christ, you're trying to hurt me. And my Muslim friend showed me that they're only hurting themselves. And
Your Muslim friend, is that what's his name? Sam? Is that Sam? Does he have other Muslim friends?
dude, this is a crazy story. I felt sympathy for Ben Shapiro one day, and my friend got tears in his eyes of joy for me. And it changed the way I saw Muslims. It changed the way I saw like a lot of shit. Like a lot of Muslims get like they get tears in their eyes when they connect to Allah. Like they really do get like emotional. Some of them, when they're just reading the Quran, they'll just start crying. Like they're fucking pretty cool people, a lot of them. Some of them I know, they're like gross and they have machetes and they scare you in England. And they want to fuck you in the ass. I don't care. Yeah, we have migration problems. I get it. I'm talking about, some of them, when they're just reading the Quran, they'll just start crying. Like they're fucking pretty cool people, a lot of them. Some of them I know, they're like gross and they have machetes and they scare you in England. And they want to fuck you in the ass. I don't care.
That's such a weird thing to do. Like, I mean, why give in to that? Especially if you live stream every day the way that Owen does. Because everybody has those thoughts that pop up. Whenever you're doing something, probably you have that critique voice, right? And just simply labeling his Ira voice critique. Everybody has that voice that's, oh, well, you should be doing it this way, or this is what other people are going to say. What in the ever loving mother of turpentine? Why give into that so much? Adam says, I've seen Sam fake cry while praying to Allah. Adam, if you're there for it, man, there are so many questions that I have. Dude, I've tried to be um beyond respectful, and I'll say beyond respectful. Because dude, you like honestly, you're fucking pretty cool. Look at go to IMDb and type in Adam Adam Camacho. Like literally my favorite movie Adam worked on. I've tried to go out of my way to be respectful to you, man, and I appreciate you um being so cool and chilling and all that kind of stuff. But there's so many questions. Like what you just said, you saw you saw him fake cry talking about Sam. For those of you that don't know, Sam is beyond. I mean, he is literally talking about a golden calf that is untouched by Owen. That's Sam. Oh darn says, "Goat, your favorite movie is Drop Dead Fred." No, no, no. My favorite movie, and I'm not a big sci-fi guy, but literally my favorite movie is on Adam's IMDb. It is hilarious. Sam crying documentary would be epic. See, and just being self-indulgent, there's been so many times where I wanted to call Adam, talk to Adam, and be like, "Hey, dude, do you happen to have like video of this situation?" But you have to be patient. Patience is one of the most people say time is the most valuable thing that you because you can't buy it. We just have it. A step beyond that is patience. And I have used so much patience just letting because it's something that you this situation is something that you cannot and I try not to manipulate. And it's crazy that because I use YouTube as like a note taking device, or I used to. Um, I still do. And for it to have any kind of an impact is crazy. But situations like this, and Adam knows this because well, I'll say I know that Adam knows this because of the lawsuit. He knows, Adam knows that there's certain times that certain things happen. Certain decisions are going to be made at this certain time. Watching this unravel is that. There are so many times that I want to go live because I found something out or Owen says something stupid. But it's one of those things. No matter my participation in this, no matter that doesn't matter. This will work out the way that it's going to work out. It will. It's going to. If you're not driving, look at Owen Benjamin's face. It's on screen right now. That's not a happy man at all. But, well, okay. What are you trying to say? He is one of the grossest people that I've ever come across. He literally is. And the reason why I say that is because seriously, the only thing that I have against Owen Benjamin, the reason why I do what I do, on top of everything else, but the tip of the iceberg, the tip of the spear, is the shit that he did during the pandemic. I saw so much sorrow. I found myself wanting to do more than I was already doing. It was such a time for humanity to be humanity, to want to be what we are, what we can be. And then to find out that Owen said, "Oh, give me your money and I'll save you." That's the tip of the spear right there. During the people lost their family businesses. People watched over Zoom their parents, their siblings, their friends die because people decided, oh, this is the best way to handle this situation. I lived, and just like everybody else, I wasn't online too much. Like I said, I always treated YouTube as like a notepad. What we all lived through, for the majority of us, lived through the pandemic, and we all took it pretty much the same way. This shit sucks. We should be better for the next person, for the person that I'm talking to. And then there's Owen saying, "Hey, hey, fam, give me money. Give me money and I'll save you. I promise you I will not keep your money if we don't hit our goal." Owen is so lucky. He is so lucky that we live in today's age to where you can just be a piece of shit and walk around in your $1.3 million home being the abrasively sack of shit that he is. Because there was a point in time to where if you did what he had done during the pandemic, it would have been handled. Nobody would be talking about it. Nobody would be talking about it today. It would have been a situation that got handled relatively quick, and then we would have moved on. We literally would have handled it the next day, maybe not the next day. It might have taken a couple of weeks for the dramatic effect and people just voicing their opinions and whatnot because we I don't want to live in a dictatorship. You know what I mean? Like just because there's one powerful dude that says destroy him, shut up. Shut up, Bartholomew, and put your hammer down. We're having a discussion. No. After the discussion, 2 weeks later, three, collectively, behind the barn, 11 cents would have been. We would have had dinner as a family, all of us collectively, and then we would have went on our separate ways. And then after sundown, the boys would have gotten around and probably respectfully would have paid their dues too, Owen, trying to find some goodness. But at the end of the night, it would have been, oh, he totally deserved that, dude. And thank you for pulling the trigger, man. It's literally insane that this type of behavior exists on a day to day basis. There are so many people like Owen that do this. They wake up every single day trying to take advantage of the hardworking mother father scenario. Grandmother, all, and that's whenever it gets Jeez Louise, I'm sorry. That's a tangent I didn't plan on. Oh my, who wrote that? Oh, fuck. Good Lord. Adam, God bless you, sir. Check out the description, if you would. There is a link to uh, his uh, his story. Oh my.
Here. Yeah, we have migration problems. I get it. I'm talking about like the deeply scholarly, faithful, and hardworking. And my friend's whiter than me, dude. He's like super Anglo. So it's not even about a race. And
Who the fuck talks that way? So, for saying fuck. I said fuck earlier. It might be that type of that type of day. Oh my. What he just he's like, I'm not racist, but he might be whiter than me. I'm not saying racism doesn't exist. That's not what I'm trying to say at all, because it does. It definitely does exist. But, and I mean but, heavily, it has never been a situation, except for a couple of moments growing up, in the situation of my life, whether you're black, white, brown, green, yellow, whatever. It literally is not a situation worth mentioning, because in those situations, we're collectively getting around to accomplish something. And we're not talking about that at all. We're talking about the problem that needs a solution. That's what that is. And what he just said, coming from Adam, dude, how much racism did you endure?
migration problems. I get it. I'm talking about like the deeply scholarly, faithful, and hardworking. And my friend's whiter than me, dude. He's like super Anglo. So it's not even about a race. And that helped me so much that it changed me for the better, where it was like they're only hurting themselves. And he cried, like not like pussy gay tears, like tears of like a warrior, because I saw that Ben Shapiro was hurting himself with his treachery and not me, because we can walk on water like Jesus, when it comes to being above the shit, that we don't need to be in there with them. And that blew my mind. And so I want to shout out what I've learned from some Muslims in my life.
That clip right
Um,
there.
and how to
Oh my. That clip right there. Good Lord. All right. Calm down. Excuse me. Sorry. I'm changing out my headphones. Oh my. What he just said? That could be an entire video. Where are you at? There we go. Hello. Hello? Hello. Hello. Yep. All right.
treat water like Jesus, when it not like pussy gay tears, like tears of like, and
Okay. So I was off doing something. I wasn't here to be able to comment, but from my life experience, I know that I am more emotional than most men, or at least most men allow them to be. I know that. Like, I'm on that side of, oh, he's overly emotional. Yeah, I am. First of all, any tears, if you show tears, sure, the first thing I'm gonna assume is that it's sincere. Now, within the first couple of seconds, I'm probably gonna be able to deduce whether or not those tears are sincere or you're trying to manipulate. We are 31. I am actively, because it's Owen Benjamin manipulation, wizardry, sorcery. What is this? 1757. Yeah, let's just call it 30. 30 minutes. Yeah. All right. That and that. Good Lord.
That helped me so much that it changed me for the better, where it was like they're only hurting themselves.
Adam says, I try not to use trigger word racism anymore, discrimination based on my heritage a lot. He just read a letter this week saying that Mexican. Being who I am, my life, my personal experience, right? I don't know what I'm trying to say. Um, Adam, I love you, and I appreciate our conversations. I was trying to say something as though I understand. I don't like. I mean, it's so overtly complicated whenever you get into it. Because me and you, I do believe that the majority of the people listening to this, we could be on a job site and literally have some of the best times of our life with communication. I really do believe that. Goodness. I love you, Adam. And I'm so sorry that it would have been so much easier if he would have just paid you. Like, sure, could it have been more boring? Yeah. But once we get old enough, boring is not bad. It really isn't. It's not a bad situation. Being boring is not bad.
And he cried, like not like pussy gay tears, like tears of like a warrior, because
That's what that was. I forgot the tangent, dude. All right. So, frying as a man, don't do it in public, really. Don't do it for attention, for sure. But crying is totally appropriate. It is. This life kind of sucks sometimes. Like, there's no reason to not. And nobody will ever know that you do it if you do it appropriately. Don't do it in front of people and don't do it for attention. If you cry, cry, man. And if you feel as though you need to cry when you're talking to people, stifle it. Don't just let it bawl. Liz, good early morning. Good morning, Liz. Oh my. It is so good to see you. Liz, I am, and I've been for the last couple of months, but I'm getting down to it. I'm building up the balls to actually read your book. And the reason why is because I did start reading your book, but it hit so close to home that I emotionally did not. I didn't want to. I didn't want to. I didn't want to go through with it. But I am. I'm going to uh finish reading it. And thank you for writing. And I am so looking forward to what you have in store for everybody else. including myself, with your writings. Anyways, what Owen Benjamin is talking about, like crying. Fuck off. Cry, dude. Cry. You should. Everybody, I mean, if you don't cry, I judge you. And
I saw that Ben Shapiro was hurting himself.
Shapiro, that's a nonchalant, literal cult lingo right there. Ben Shapiro. That makes my head hurt. Why? Because I appreciate how to pronounce words correctly, names. I go out of my way to do that. And so if we're in a meeting and I hear you mispronounce, and I say a meeting very nonchalant, like if we're having a conversation and I hear you say something like that, that's a big red flag to me. Because first of all, I assume that you're smart enough to pronounce it correctly. And then there you are, trying to manipulate.
Self with his treachery and not me, because we can walk on water like Jesus, you know, when it comes to being above the shit, that we don't need to be in there with them. And that blew my mind. And so I want to shout out what I've learned from some Muslims in my life, you know, and how to treat Jews, like how to just keep their porn and their debt away from you and, you know, try and guide them and like give them help if they need it. You can.
He just said the Jews. Now I know that's a heavy topic, but he said the Jews, and then he said they're porn. Do I understand what he's saying with that? Yes. Look up who publishes the NIV Bible and what other businesses they own. I get what he's saying, but Owen Benjamin has an audience. That's true. You can't deny that. I mean, you can, but it's not beneficial. Owen Benjamin has an audience. Has it gone down over the years? Yes. Yes, it has. Is he growing? I don't think so. Definitely, definitely not growing, I would say. But him using the words that he uses, Jews, porn. If anybody else said that, I would probably be talking about something entirely different than what I'm saying right now. I wouldn't be saying what I'm saying right now. Owen Benjamin literally uses verbal pornography. He literally says, I'm the guy that shames people into giving them money because I call them gay. Owen is literally running out of airway, like the landing strip, the way that you take off if you're a plane. If you land safely, you need a certain amount of space to do what you're doing. He's running out of it. And we're watching this in real time. Do I wish harm upon his wife and children? No, not even a little bit. If his wife and children showed up on my doorstep, I would feed them, I would clothe them. But Owen Benjamin, sir, you suck. As a grown up, as a human being, as somebody worthy of chastisement, Owen Benjamin, you suck, dude. You literally suck. The majority of people that have walked away from you because of you. If one person calls you a horse, don't think about it. If two people call you a horse, maybe consider it. If three people call you a horse, look for fucking hooves, bro. There have been so many in this land. I say land. I'm not even talking about the landscape. I'm talking about the internet. in this environment of the internet, there have been so many people that's walked away from Owen. And what did he call them? EDFs. They hate me because I'm beautiful. I mean, that was a song. They hate me because I'm so right. This situation is so vitally important for people. Understand that there are people that suck. I know that we're all created in God's image, but some people just suck. Some people literally, literally can suck. They wake up and they don't care. How am I going to take advantage of the next person that comes along? They People like Owen, they don't care. There's more than Owen out there. That's for sure. But Owen is he forces himself upon the world, going live 5 times out of 7, 5 times out of 7. And then pretending, having the gall. Like, motherfucker, people are literally there are victims out there. There are. And I'm not a big fan of this whole don't be a victim, whatever. Yeah, don't be a victim. I hope to God you're not. But yes, there are victims. This whole mentality of victims don't exist, fuck off with that shit so much, so hard. Oh my. There's people that I respect their opinion of that are trying to paint the picture that victim mentality is such a horrible thing that that they're literally talking shit to the victims. There cannot be a predator without a victim. There are victims just as though there are predators. That's a thing. There's a reason why grown men sit in the fucking silence over in the corner and they watch. They shut up whenever there's a minor inconvenience. And then they act in silence. They do not tell people what they're doing. The storm of accountability is literally raining upon Owen Benjamin's head. And people like Liz, Covert Radio, Adam Camacho, Johnny Arcade, Beehive. Somebody made a comment on my last live. It was I can't think of his name. But he said, "Bro, you literally only have 50 people watching." This is my hobby, dude. And y'all like I'm not even all that open and honest with what I do on a day-to-day basis. You have no idea. But what I can guarantee you is that as long as Owen Benjamin goes live every day, I wish that I could upload 20 videos a day like I used to. My internet connection changed. Like there's various reasons where me going live is just the easiest solution to that. But as long as Owen Benjamin is Owen Benjamin, 100% without a shadow of a doubt, this is one of the easiest things that I do. And it doesn't matter. There literally could be nobody listening to me doing this. This is me taking notes. Oh shit. People suck. People suck. I'm trying to be a better person. People suck. Owen Benjamin. Like literally, that is so crazy that's literally how that works out. Why does he suck? I mean, he did take advantage of a lot of people. Yeah, yeah. Like people play video games and whatnot. This is what I do. I take notes. It soothes my mind. I will admit that I haven't filled up as many notepads over the last 2 years as I did before. But it's just one of those things. People suck. Why do people suck? Because I don't the life that I live, the people that I'm around, I mean, it's just physically not relevant that people suck because I'm surrounded by beautiful people, my wife, my child, my friends, my family, coworkers. People don't suck. How dare you say people suck? It is vital for you to remember that people suck. People wake up every day trying to rape and pillage. It is literally important to your health that you understand just because you live a good life, like you live a blessed life, people around you, like they're not evil. They your wife, your husband, your children, your friends, you cultivated that scenario. But we're all trying to bring children into this. We all try to cultivate we all try to promote the ability to travel and whatnot. It is vital to your health that you remember that people do, in fact, suck. They do. There's people out there like Owen that he doesn't care. He doesn't care about you. He'll try to convince you that he cares, but he doesn't. And there are people worse than Owen, where literally they're not online.
Be friends with them, but just know what a lot of them, what they're going to do to you. To stab you right in the back. Like they can't fucking help themselves. And so this dude literally is talking shit about me to my friend when I agreed to go. I don't want to say any more information because I don't want to dude, they're going to try and shut off my electricity. They really do. Like they do. They're so fucking vindictive. It's insane. Where if you're friends with them, they feel like if they don't agree with everything you say, that they have every justification to destroy your life, get your mom fired from her job, get you kicked.
It's not the case, man. Nobody, literally. Okay, so people could possibly believe that. But I would literally lean into the thought process that the people that believe what he's saying, they don't live they've never lived a life. They've never ran a business. They've never gone to they just what we've done in the last 40 years or 50, 60 years. Blake says, this is a team effort to bring down Owen. Since we can't exactly do it the old fashioned way, either way, it must be done. Blake, yes, sir. Brother, I'm not going to make you uncomfortable by going through um, why I love and respect you. I'm just gonna say that I do. Oh my, Adam. One man with God is a majority, though there be 1,000 on the other side. Yes, sir. One thing that I found, I don't know what that sound was. One thing that I found interesting with me over the last couple years is that whenever I'm not doing videos on Owen, I genuinely don't think of him at all. Not even a little bit. And it's gotten more relevant with obviously with how the time has progressed. Because I have over 1,200 videos covering Owen. And you would think, like, taking a step back, me analyzing this situation, somebody that has 1,200 videos, you would think, like, oh, it's got to be a dominant fixture in his life. No, it's not. Not even a little bit. It's interesting to me that I'm able to like it's so much that I feel like I'm a jack wagon. Like I'm like, are you really that emotionally detached from everything in your life? Like it makes me second question things. And I judge myself because this is a hobby to me, right? But I think about the people that genuinely, like Adam, Liz, Johnny Arcade. This is a real life situation for a whole lot of people. It really is. It's like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, this isn't a joke scenario for so many people. I'm not saying so many people. I don't give a fuck if it's 1,500 or one. One person, just one person was genuinely fucked over by Owen. And I say fucked over, I mean attacked. Because you can be on the road and you can make the wrong decision and you kill an entire family. You didn't intentionally kill that family. Owen Benjamin literally, physically makes the choice to say, this is who I'm attacking. This is with Liz, with Johnny Arcade, with Adam. He literally is a menace in the physical world while he's LARPing as a comedian online.
Out of banking, like there's no limit to what they're capable of doing because in their mind they're permanent victims. They think Hitler had a death cult and they drank their blood and there was billions of them and they were building all the cathedrals and their magical bloodline is only for God. Dude, it's fucking crazy. Okay? And I don't hate them and I don't want to round them up. In fact, I want to write a sketch because I allegedly I have some quote unquote Ashkenazi heritage in my bloodline. And so technically, if the America First, fucking weirdo Catholic militant guys, if they were rounding Jews up, I would be probably in that group. But I was laughing because I would do everything in my power to break out of the concentration camp and hang with the Nazis because I would be so annoyed by the Jews. It's not, I don't fear camps or roundup. I fear being around Jews all the time. Like, can you imagine? It's like, oh, there's porridge. And I couldn't stop laughing. I was like in my truck laughing my ass off about how the worst nightmare would just to be around these people all the time. It would be fucking it because they're like, like that crazy woman when you're early on in your hookup years and that chick that's really into you really fast and wants to hook up with you and she's like hot and she's like really adventuresome and she calls you all the time and she wants to suck your dick but then you like hook up with her and you're like, oh, this is great. Oh, I'll take a little more of this. And then you realize she's totally batshit crazy and you just have to manage them forever. And that's why don't hook up with crazy girls, right? Don't even have them around you where they always want to be understood and they don't feel you understand them. I mean, Jewish males will literally write you paragraphs about the deep complexity of the Jewish man and
about the deep complexity of the Jewish man. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know? Let me tell you one of the reasons why I love my wife. She came up to me just now. We embraced each other. She gave me a kiss. And this is literally how it went down. We hugged, we kissed, and then she said, we made eye contact. And then she said, stop cussing. And immediately I knew she was talking about on this live. Yeah, for sure. Because we, as grown-ups, we have emotions. And yeah, it can be fun to express those emotions with cuss words and loudness. Yeah, it's way easier to do it that way. And sometimes, yeah, dude. Sometimes you got to. I've got a garage for a reason. You go out there and you be a man you're like, man, this doesn't make any sense to me. And you say things and you work shit out. You work stuff out. You don't say blah, blah, blah whenever you're trying to make a point. That does not make any sense. You don't say blah, blah, blah. And as grown-ups, we have the ability to use words. We use our words to communicate. That's what we do. That's how business thrives. Pandora's in the house. She says, TG, have you been drinking? Yeah, milk, water, and alcohol. Yes, ma'am. All of the above, all of the time. It's really good to see you, Pandora. The, the nature of the game is that we wake up every single day and we hopefully try to be better. That's what we try to do. Me, my wife, my kid, all of us, my friends, my family. I know for a fact that's what we literally try to do every single day. And in our own echo chamber, people like Owen doesn't exist. We cultivate our own lives to make our lives better. That's what we do. 2 years ago, whenever I had the thought, I remember talking to my wife. I said, hey, I haven't done a YouTube video in a minute. I wonder what Owen's up to. That comedian. Hashtag not a cult. I wonder what they're up to. I honestly had no idea that this could have been a possibility. Like the what he did during the pandemic blows my mind. I woke up one day and I thought, hey, what was that one comedian? Like, what's he up to? Hashtag not a cult. What have they been up to? And then I looked into it. And like in real life, sure, man, you wake up and you assume certain things. I probably assume certain things that the majority of people don't. Like people are shitty and I treat them way better than they should be treated, probably. But like that's how I choose to live my life. But as a broad spectrum of communication, the way Owen has been doing his thing, that is insane. Give me money so I can buy myself land. Like fucking what? And then, and then, oh my. And then you remember Owen Benjamin said, it is morally superior for you to marry a 12-year-old than to have consensual relations with a grown woman. The answer to that is no. Literally, no, it's not. The fact that he felt the need to bring in moral superiority to that conversation is insane alone. Why do I? Every once in a while, I feel the need to directly respond to Owen, but I feel like it's weird to talk to him. Like, hey, Owen, you're a fucking jackass. Jack wagon is what we would say. Sorry, sweet. I know you told me to stop cussing. You didn't tell me. It was a recommendation. I'm trying. But it's difficult knowing that this person literally wakes up every single day saying, "Hey, how can I? How can I be the biggest piece of shit alive? How can I literally take advantage of people? Holy shnikes, Batman. Like I keep going back to the pandemic. What were you doing? You, the listener, what were you doing during the pandemic? Because I know what I was doing. I was doing my best to take care of my family. It was a tough situation for everybody that I listened to. It was a conversation almost year round for like 2 years. What were you doing? Collectively, we would just move on from that. And then it comes out that Owen Benjamin said, give me your money, sell your IRA. Hey guys, do you think that 5,000 of you can chip in? Dude, laws exist for a reason. They do. Oh my. Whenever this came across my radar, because I knew what I was doing during all of that horse hockey nonsense, and it doesn't matter what your politics are for that. Like it just sucked for a lot of people, and a lot of people understand that. But the fact that Owen said, "Hey, this is my opportunity to shine. Give me your money. I'll give you ability to camp. At the very minimum, you can show up in camp." Show up with tents, man. Or even a long nap. Show up with the want to have a nap. Literally. That's what it could have been. Hey man, I'm just traveling. Literally, I've slept on the ground, dude. I'm not above it. If I'm tired enough, I will sleep anywhere. Camping doesn't need that much. I literally, and I didn't invest in this at all. I had already walked away, not because of moral fortitude. It was just busy life. But the people that paid $400 just for that, the 2 weeks out of the year, literally, you can sleep on the ground without anything. You don't need a place to pee. You don't need a place to poop. I mean, you need all those things, but nobody needs, nobody has to build those things. That is a stone, whether it's made of lead or sin. It is right there in Owen Benjamin's stomach. He knows. Everybody was given. They were blessed with the, what is that called? There's so much going on around me right now. I can't think. Um, what is that?
Cat playing in a bag.
I would gladly delete that back. Oh my. No, conscience. Conscience. Everybody was blessed with a conscience. That voice that says, "Hey, you shouldn't be doing this." And to me, that's a voice, that's a literal record keeper to God. Whenever you die, your conscience is going to be sitting there as the record keeper, saying, "You did this," because that's the closest thing that you've got besides a best friend or a wife or whatever. Your conscience. And there's a reason why people that are just they just give over to evil. They say, "Oh, my conscience stopped working." It's just not there anymore. It's important to remember that Owen Benjamin is a real life human being. He exists. I mean, he woke up today, or he's gonna wake up. I don't know. It's 1:34 p.m. Texas time, so he might be sleeping in because his farm doesn't have anything going on. But he's a real life person. He is a son. He's a daughter. That was a joke. Um, he's a brother. He's a friend. He's a father. He has children. He literally has a wife and children. His children wake up every single day with the dad of Owen Benjamin. Yeah, I've got this channel that has over 1,200 videos covering Owen. That's because it sucks to watch somebody take advantage of so many people and nobody talks about it. Now, there are people that do talk about it, but I mean, I just can't. Whenever I sit down, whenever I would normally write, create, like there was just a thing hanging over my head saying, fucking Owen Benjamin exists. Owen Benjamin, he's literally taking advantage of so many people. He is literally using words to manipulate because it's not reality. It definitely isn't action. He has children. They wake up every single day with Owen being the dad. The intentions that I have with this channel and the videos that I do are not to destroy Owen Benjamin, but to make him a better person for the people that are directly involved in his life. Those children, every child deserves a dad. Sweet. I love you. I got onto a weird tangent just yeah. Yes.
What do you want me to do?
Sing and dance.
I don't know about the dance part.
Singing part though? It's so depressing knowing that this dude has children. I'm sorry. What?
I was gonna say I'll sing a Christian song.
Go for it.
I don't know if they want to hear it.
I don't care if they want to or not. Like, I appreciate their feedback. I really do. But that's one of the reasons why I'm able to do this is because he sucks. He's taking advantage of people.
Yes.
And whenever I could take time out of my day to be like, I want to word work and write stuff and whatnot. Like, I should be able to do that. But a lot of times, whenever that happens, I'm like, oh, Owen Benjamin exists and he sucks. And people should know why.
Yeah.
But
It's
no.
hard to get him out of your head sometimes. Just because he is not a very nice person.
Right.
You know what I mean?
See. You said something about it.
I bet you know which one it is. Someone I sang the other day.
See, that's not fair.
I'm a little stuffy.
Yeah, you are.
Getting a cold. I sound funny.
Yeah, your son made me sick last night. If you can remember.
Do you want me to?
Sweetheart, I would love. Don't if it makes you if it hurts.
No, it doesn't hurt.
Well then shut up and sing
Being
then.
put on a...
You are definitely. You know what's funny? If we weren't live right now, she wouldn't be acting like this. She would have just curled up next to my ear like a needy cat and just whispered singing in my ear. It was like, do you want me to be louder? And I'd be like, oh baby, it's good. It's okay.
But made things weird.
I did make it weird. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'll do it quick because I gotta leave again in a little bit.
I know.
Okay. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Some glad morning when this life is o'er, I'll fly away to a home where God's celestial shore, I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. That's all I know. Ta-da! Got the kitty cat's attention. Here's a cute little baby.
I'm trying not to make it weird.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. That's all I know.
Lies? I was so emotionally involved in that. And then you said that's all I know, and I know that's a lie. Why would you lie to these sweet people? We need to talk. No, I'm just kidding. What else you got? I'm so trying not to make this weird. Oh my. Like okay, I'm gonna make it weird.
Here's a kitty cat.
I know life gets busy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a minute since you've literally sang a song. Like just because we're hanging out and I'm like, "Hey, sing something." You're like, no. And then you do. You singing that just now humanistically made me upset that other people were involved.
Aww.
I was like, they don't deserve this. But
They do. They're nice people. I like your chat.
oh, Liz says, I need Miss M to come on a stream with me. Stat.
Aww.
Liz, name the time. Literally, I will manipulate Mrs. TGR's timeline to accommodate you. Ricky in front of my friends.
What?
Say, you know, he'll do that.
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
He's a big man.
He'll do it.
Tell him how strong I am. Laughing.
You're gonna scare the kitty.
We're not scaring the cat.
She's going.
She's literally
She's
putting her
loving
nose up
on me.
your nose. Oh my.
Kitty cat's so lovely.
Amy says, I love how much you love your wife. It's kind of annoying though, how much I love her. I'm like, it should be irritating. You got away with so much
Love
irritation.
is blind.
It is. No, that's I do too. Sing. That's monkey. Sing a song. Hey guys, my wife is really beautiful and she can sing really well. Please like me because of her. Hold on. No, I've got no. This is definitely not worth. Nothing out there that's going to strike this.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because this is you singing. That's why you can do covers.
Oh, okay. What? Whisper in my ear, sweet nothings. What were you gonna say?
What you said wasn't productive.
I don't know the words to that one.
Yeah, we can look it up. Well, just sing whatever you want to, and I'll look this up. This was my aunt's favorite song. I'm judging.
I'm trying to think of things that we sing at church. I'm using your phone to research.
Tell my girlfriends to stop.
Oh, well, your girlfriends, that's okay.
They suck.
Oh, what's the one?
Which one? That made me excited.
Oh, what's the?
No, this one right here. Do you?
Oh, him.
Do you read music?
Not as good as some.
Well, okay. See, that's why I said because you used to be able to. All right. Oh, yeah. This one right here. Would you need to hear the music for the tune?
No. On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. And I love that old cross where the dearest and best for a world of lost sinners was slain. Oh, the cat's biting me.
Yeah.
So I'll cherish the old rugged rugged cross. Till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. I'm not doing all of it.
You don't have to.
I do. I have to go here soon.
I know,
I really do.
but I so appreciate you.
You're welcome, baby.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Will you marry me?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Can I tell my family?
Yes.
Can I tell your son?
Yes.
I'm marrying your mother, sir.
Okay, I want to watch TV. I'm not interested. What is?
Hold up.
Oh,
Adam made a comment. He said, "Tex, will you stop talking to an actual woman and talk about Owens or Weens, please?" Tell him that.
oh,
Yeah. So there's a thing that most men have, and it's called oh Lord, I can't. Not even trying to be humorous. Wow.
I'll sing that song I used to
Die
sing,
quietly.
Mr. Toad.
What are you
From
doing?
that one I used to sing, Mr. Toad.
Which one?
Godspeed.
Oh Lord, yeah. Please do.
I gotta find the lyrics. I don't remember them all.
CGC says, "What you drinking, Tex?" At the moment, Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. Did you hear what he said?
No.
He said yum.
My situation is built on sadness and sleep deprivation.
They don't want to hear me sing, though.
Yes, they do.
No, they want to listen to you talk about Owen.
They do not.
They do too. I'll prove it.
Never claimed to be sober. I'm saying I'm literally drinking Coca-Cola is what I'm drinking. For real.
He is. I can vouch. I see it.
Yeah.
It's right there. In a red label.
No, I'm going through something right now. I am. I'm extraordinarily sad. I miss my parents so much. And over the last couple of years, I've done it very well. But walking into this one, I don't know why. It's like kicking me in the fucking stomach. I know. I'm sorry I said fucking. And I said it again. But it is. It literally, it's.
I'm sorry you're so sad.
Me too. Me too. I don't know. I think yeah. Anyways, your voice is very beautiful, Miss Texas Good. Sing your song. Sing it. You found it.
I did.
You're being manipulative. You
No,
you literally are rubbing on my leg, being like, so lovey. You're so lovey-dovey. And I should have known, because you know that I don't like to be touched. And you're laughing because you know that it's true. You found it and you were like,
I did find it.
I can sing it, but I don't want to
They
sing
don't
it.
want to hear me sing.
You know that they want to, but you're just being you're being insecure.
Yeah. Do you even know what insecure means? No. What did he say?
He just likes to hear himself talk.
Oh.
Is what he said. You were manipulating me with your touchy.
I'm sorry.
You should
be being manipulative.
But you were, and you found it, and you knew
it's right here.
You knew that you could sing it. You know that I don't like being touched, and you were touching me, and I was loving it. And now because I felt like
just a little bit, because I really do have to leave in a little bit.
No, I know.
Okay. If y'all don't know this song, it's called Godspeed Sweet Dreams. So I like the version of the Chicks, formerly known as the Dixie Chicks.
CGC says this just got weird.
Let's just go. Yeah, because you made it weird, bro.
Oh, but before that, he said, I was missing my pops this weekend. Yeah. Old people die and it sucks, and nobody tells you that. Like some days, as a grown person, you're going to miss your mom and dad.
Yeah.
Sing it.
Okay. Let me find the topic again.
Find what? Oh,
I had to scroll down.
okay.
Dragon tails and the water is wide. Pirates sail and lost boys fly. Fish by moonbeams every night. And I love you. Godspeed, little man. Sweet dreams, little man. Oh, my love will fly to you each night on angels' wings. Godspeed, sweet dreams. Rocket racers all tuckered out. Superman's in pajamas on the couch. Good night, moon, we'll find the mouse, and I love you. Godspeed, little man. Sweet dreams, little man. Oh, my love will fly to you each night on angels' wings. Godspeed, sweet dreams. God bless mommy and matchbox cars. God bless dad and thanks for the stars. God hears amen wherever we are. And I love you. Send.
Sign off.
Sign off. Okay, I really do have to go. Thank y'all for listening. Gigi's not going anywhere. The other one is.
No, I am.
The Mrs. version.
I'm off.
Oh, you're off?
Yeah.
Bye, guys.